I'm blaming you.
Me?
I'm blaming you. Yeah, you.
I got something stuck on my flavour saver. This week on Whisky and Things, we talk to singer-songwriter Danny Gruff in our first three-way interview.
And we try the Highland Park 12-year-old Viking Honour whiskey. We get to hear from the man in the clouds himself, the Whisky God, to find out what he thinks about it.
Remember, you can keep up to date on all our social media platforms at Whisky and Things Podcast on Instagram, at Whisky and Things on Facebook and Twitter. Remember, no E required.
And while you're at it, why don't you do us a favour? Press follow, press subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, leave us a review. We might read it out.
You're listening to the Whisky and Things podcast with Dave Giles and Nick Kent.
Hello, I'm Dave Giles.
Hey, and I am Nick Kent. Welcome to episode 5 of Whisky and Things.
Episode 5. Can you believe we're doing it 5 weeks now?
Yeah, it feels it. It feels it already, mate. I'm not going to lie. It feels it.
It's a bit of a milestone, that's for sure. We've had some feedback on last week's show. So as always, we do welcome it. So I'm going to just crack on with that. It appears, Nick, by magic, we have new people listening to the show who don't, as far as I'm aware, don't know us from Adam.
We fear change.
Clearly, whiskey hashtags have been bringing people in.
Oh, that's what they're for.
Yeah, so we had on Instagram, we had a guy called @PeteWhiskey. Well, I think his name's Pete. I don't think his surname is Whiskey.
Would be cool,
that's
though.
his tag. It would be oh my God. Did I ever tell you about the drummer I knew who did a PhD whose surname was Drum, so he's Dr. Drum. Anyway, I digress. Pete Whiskey. Pete Whiskey said that he's really into Jura, which I think is what hooked him in.
Yeah.
And that he loved the podcast and it made him go and get a glass and have a drink along with us.
Fantastic.
So welcome, Pete. We hope you've come back.
Mr. Whis.
Welcome to the family. Also,
Welcome, Mr. Whiskey.
welcome, Mr. Whiskey. And also, we've had a message from Jack, who again I don't believe we know, at UK10 Jack. He said he's a big fan of Jura, and he's given us a recommendation. Nick, he said he recommends. I don't know if I can say it right, but Bunhabain, 12-year-old Bun Na Ab Hain.
You're right there, mate.
12-year-old.
You're right there.
I can't say it. It's a long word.
Do you want to mop your brow? Are you okay? Feeling a bit ill?
And he has said there is no better whiskey for the money. He didn't say how much it was. He just said there's no better whiskey for the money. So Thanks, Jack. Thanks for listening. It's nice to have some new people involved.
Dave, sorry to burst your bubble on that one. I know Jack. He's a very old friend of mine.
Okay. Well,
I wrote a song about him when I was in a band at school. He's got an excellent. I'm not going to give his surname out. So obviously he wants to be called Jack UK or whatever. But cool guy.
Was he always Jack? Was he always Jack with no C?
No, he's reinvented himself.
Thing, is it?
Yeah,
reinvented himself on Instagram as Jack with no C. Just like we reinvented ourselves. Whiskey with no E.
Exactly.
He's one of us. All right. So maybe we've only got.
Thanks for listening.
Maybe we've only got the one new person, but the whiskey hashtag still kind of works. Hi, Pete.
It will.
But before we crack on, Nick, I just want to talk about Tullamore Dew again, our week 3 whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't anything to add about the whiskey, but they put up an Instagram post this week, and it really made me feel proud.
Yeah.
That we chose Tullamore Dew as our 3rd week whiskey, and it was a picture of some of their distillery workers standing next to a lorry, and it said, "A massive thank you to the distillery team for their continuous hard work in deploying thousands of litres of alcohol to be used in hand sanitizer during this crisis period."
Amazing.
And I know, right? And I'm sure other distilleries are doing it. I'm sure other alcohol companies are doing it. But it's just nice that, I feel like we're all coming together and better things are happening as a result. And it's not about bottom lines for once. It's about what's good for us all. It's really nice to see.
No, it's good to see. Normally I'd be quite upset about such a waste of alcohol. But under the circumstances, I'll let you off, Jim Tullamore, for that one.
Good old Jimmy T.
Yeah. But it's good to, it's the thing. So many companies are kind of chipping in other ways. Like Mercedes are making respirator valves, and so are Ferrari, and all kinds of things.
Yeah, it's good to see.
It is good
really good to see.
Right.
Anyway, should we crack on?
Let's do it.
Whiskey butts, roll out.
This week's whiskey.
Ooh. I'm just going to stroke the bottle against my face for a little bit.
It's such a beautiful bottle.
It is nice. Can you hear that, people? Oh yeah.
It's singing. It's singing to me through my headphones.
Your bottle is a lot more full than mine.
It certainly is. I've never actually tried this yet, Nick.
Mate, it's a wonderful little tipple. Not going to lie.
Well, it's the Highland Park 12-year-old Viking Honour.
Viking Honour.
It's a single malt Scotch whiskey.
Yes, sir.
Which, as we know, means it's from Scotland.
Correct, Dave.
Founded by Jim Highland.
I thought you were going to give me a proper, actual... It's a single malt, which means it's made in one distillery. But no, you went with it's from Scotland.
Well, all right then. What does it mean to be a single malt, Nick?
It means it's come from one distillery.
Right. Okay. That's it.
It's not a blend. Yeah.
Right.
That's pretty much it.
You got...
Mate.
It's because my bottle's always full and yours are always...
It's the angle you're pulling it, mate. You got to pull it, get a good handle on it and pull it straight up.
Disagree. Anyway, I'm going to pour myself a nice measure in my Glencairn glass.
Beautiful.
And this is a lighter amber than last week's Jura on the eye. And I'm getting my nose right in there.
This shares a commonality, if that's a word. If it is,
good word. We're going with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to use it again. I don't know what it means. But
a commonality. Something in common with the Jura last week. Well, your one anyway, because I think these are actually a lot of the Highland Park range are aged prominently. What's wrong with me today? Is that a word? In sherry casks.
All right, so we should have Christmas cake in the smell again.
Yes, which we do. We do have fruit cake.
It's got a bit of marzipan in there, that's for sure.
Oh, look at you.
It's Highland Park's from the Orkney Islands, right?
Correct. Right up the top there. Right up the top of Scotland.
So it's closer to Norway, which I'm guessing is why they've gone with the Viking Honour thing, right?
Yes, all the Scandinavian thing.
Nick, I really know nothing about this.
Really?
And I've been so bad with this stuff that's why I'm not even going to look up anything anymore. I'm done. I'm not an expert. I don't know anything.
No, mate, you're right. You got to keep looking at this stuff.
I'm just looking forward for you to teach me it all.
Right. Well, this is a slightly peated whiskey.
I can smell the peat.
Can you pick that up?
I have picked that up.
The interesting thing, I'll tell you an interesting thing about the peat they use on the Highland Park. The peat is...
Orkney peat.
Yes. And the thing is, with Orkney peat, it contains nearly no wood.
Can you taste the wood?
Yeah.
No, because there is no wood.
Well, there's wood in other places. No wood but the peat is mainly made of...
There's always wood in somewhere when you're around. Anyway, carry on.
The peat is mainly made of heather. So there's a little floral note in there, which I can't pick up, but other people can. No. But yeah.
On the tongue, it's quite smoky.
Yeah.
I got a bit of smoke in there.
For me, I can smell a little bit like flat Coke.
Oh, yes.
I don't know whether it's just...
It does have that sweetness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely
flat
got that.
Coke, fruitcake and the light peat.
It doesn't taste like fruitcake, though. You can smell it, but it doesn't taste like it. That's got a really nice flavour to it. The peat's not overbearing. Like the Lefroy, where the peat was really quite strong.
Yeah. Yeah, peat.
It's
known for that.
It's not as strong, is it? But
no, it's very, very subtle, the peat, but it is there, and I like it a lot.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's got a peppery finish as well when you leave it. All round, everywhere, all round the mouth.
As in black pepper?
Mm-hmm. Especially under the tongue. Let it linger. Oh.
You're right.
Good God,
actually,
man.
Now you've said it, I have got that.
Good Lord.
I haven't got anything else to say about this. I got my Jim Highland gag in. Or is his name Jim? Or is he Jim Park?
No, well,
Or is he Jim Viking?
well, they're really
Tell me
for this
something.
Viking thing.
I mean, it's worth buying for the bottle alone.
The bottle's fantastic. It's a great bottle
It really
for
is.
an infinity bottle if you want to do that.
I'm enjoying it. I think it's a really nice drop. And bear in mind, I've never had it before.
Yeah.
I'm glad I've got a whole bottle.
I'm very jealous.
There is going to be a time, though, when I buy a bottle of whiskey and I'm going to hate it, and then I've got a bottle of it. And I've opened it, so I can't re-gift it.
And there'll be a present too. And
Exactly.
whoever bought it for you is going to come round and be like, hey, where's that whiskey I bought you?
Yeah.
And if you say,
hey, you got me that whiskey, and then you reviewed it on Whisky and Things, and you trashed it. Thanks very much. I spent money on that.
that's the thing though. But if you make up a lie like, oh, well, I loved it, so I finished it really quick, they're going to think you like that all the time. So next birthday, they're going to get it again.
Oh, they're going to get you it again. Oh.
Lies make baby Jesus cry. And as a friend of ours once said, makes adult Jesus bleed.
Talking of Jesus, let's
See it from his dad, so later on.
let's just wait to see what the Whisky God's got to say about this later.
Just get the things over with.
Fine. If you're going to be that way.
Oh, God.
Who
Who
hired
hired
him
that
anyway?
guy? Who hired that guy? Anyway.
The things.
Yes, here we go. You love things. Yeah, I'm talking to you, listener. I know you like a good thing when you hear it. Well, Dave, you got a thing for us? What things have you been doing this week, apart from breaking everything?
Just nearly spilt my whiskey, but I didn't. So yeah, this week, as some people know, as most people know, I am a geek.
Well, not everyone knows that. Please explain, David.
I am a geek, and
You
in
are,
particular,
yeah, he is.
I'm a massive space travel geek.
Yeah, you are.
In particular, the history of it, and in particular, I'm going to say in particular, lots, the Apollo era, the moon landings, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And this week has been the 50th anniversary of Apollo 13, which was made famous by a film that came out in 1995, 25 years ago, starring Tom Hanks, directed by Ron Howard. And I've just been delving into all the stuff that's been going on. There was supposed to be loads of celebratory events, but they obviously all got cancelled. So there's been a load of live streams of live interviews via FaceTime on Zoom and all that kind of stuff with the people that are still alive. And also there's a wonderful website called apolloinrealtime.org.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got 3 missions on there at the moment where they've got Apollo 11, Apollo 13, Apollo 17. And they've gone through, and you can listen to the mission in real time, all the mission control chatter, any video footage of the mission control or on the flights, it goes up, and you can watch it all in real time, skip through to the bits you like. But when one of those missions was actually happening, it plays it live. So right now, in real time, you can watch the whole of the Apollo 13 mission as if it's been going on right now. And I've just been having the best time.
Good Lord.
I've been geeking out on it.
That was quite a
time.
dramatic mission, am I right?
Oh, yeah, it was the one. It was the one that went wrong.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting watching all the bits you know from the movie, but hearing the real life stuff. And obviously, some bits they quote, but are just slightly less dramatic or more calm.
Yeah. I bet. Yeah.
Because although bad things were going on, it's incredible how calm they all seem, and how it's just been so much fun for me. It's like I've been geeking out massively.
Yeah.
And staying up till silly o'clock to make sure I'm listening to certain points at exactly the right time. And Houston, we've had a problem bit and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
but
God, of course, yes.
The
famous line.
website's insane. Like you could pick which mission controller's console you're listening to because they all had their own backroom staff, so they're all having their own chat to the different people, and it's just glorious, Nick. It's just glorious. I've had the best time. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. What have you been up to, Nick?
What have I been up to, Dave?
Yeah, what have you been up to? I feel like you've got something to tell me today.
I'm doing the same old thing. I've been making some music videos with friends, etc.
I saw one of these. Grandma's Hands, Bill Withers one.
Yeah.
Was incredible.
Did you like
I
that?
love Bill Withers. It was very sad that he died.
Yes.
So and it's there's a live album, Bill Withers live at Carnegie Hall, and that's how I know that song.
Oh, okay.
And it's when you saw you post it, because I didn't think you were a Bill Withers man, so I was like, "What? Nick's done that song?" I got really excited, and it's really good. The singer, don't know who he is, amazing.
Daniel,
Go on, carry on.
Daniel, yeah. I was quite unfamiliar with Bill Withers, to be honest, but sometimes it takes something like this to be introduced to an artist, and I will look further into him. Also this week, my friend Tom Milner, who was one of the leads in the American Idiot musical this year, which I played bass in, he got in touch and wanted to do a cover to help out the NHS to raise money.
Oh, nice.
So he'd basically rewritten the lyrics to Wake Me Up When September Ends, which is one of Green Day's biggest tunes. And myself, Rob Wicks and Chris George from the American Idiot Tour band re-recorded it. And
nice.
Yeah. He's rewritten it. It's now called Wake Me Up When Corona Ends. And please trust me, it's better than it sounds. Okay? And it's all for a good cause. I think he's setting up a GoFundMe or giving page or whatever. It should be out by now. If not, check my Instagram. It'll be soon. It should be out by now.
Oh, mate, that's awesome.
But yeah, it was fun to do. And yeah, please go check it out. And if you can afford it, I know things are tough at the moment, but trying to raise some money for the NHS. He's also given away if you share it, you get put into a draw to win a American Idiot poster, which he will sign as well. So there we go.
Very good. So we got a special treat this week because we've done
have we?
Our first three-way
interview.
Yes.
Yes.
We roped in our good friend Danny Gruff to be our first victim of our first three-way interview.
We didn't rope him in. He begged to come on this show. He absolutely begged. Like, I couldn't believe, we've been batting him off for 5 weeks.
Yeah, so Danny was a character in the YouTube. For those of you who don't know, we had a YouTube show, and Danny was a character that popped up every week for 6 seconds.
Yes, that was it was the big days of Vine when we were doing that show. It was very convenient to have a little 6-second segment of Danny. If like what we were saying was quite boring, we could just cut away to him. It was fantastic.
Yeah. So we use Danny quite a lot, and he's just had his second album has just come out. He's a singer-songwriter. His second album has just come out. It's called Author of My Own Misfortunes. It's full of hits.
Fantastic.
And he got to number 1 on the iTunes singer-songwriter chart the day it came out, which probably means he sold about 15 copies now in that chart. But still an achievement. I don't think I've ever done it.
Massive achievement.
Nice one, Dan.
Yeah.
So let's have our first freeway. Danny Gruff, as I live and breathe.
Daniel Gruff, welcome to Whisky and Things.
The infamous Whisky and Things podcast.
Congratulations on your number 1 album.
Thank you very much. I'm surprised you got me on. You put it through my agent, I imagine. It's hard to get me on these sort of things.
That must be new, Dave, because I haven't rung anyone.
So how you doing, Danny?
Yeah, not bad. And I'm quite enjoying lockdown. I don't know when this is going to go out, but yeah, I'm quite enjoying it, to be honest. Time off is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually getting things done for once.
Yeah. To be honest, it makes me realise how little I used to do. Because I used to be like, I don't really have to work today because I've got a gig later. But now by like 9 o'clock when I would go to a gig, I'm usually asleep. So it's like...
It's weird though, isn't it? Because it's Sunday night. I thought it was Saturday. But it's
I'm
Sunday.
forgetting what day it is.
I've got no concept of what day it is. There's no, I'm trying to maintain a routine, but it's so hard, isn't it?
I'm doing all right. Like on weekends, I tend to do nothing, which does I don't.
No, but that's
makes
okay.
sense. Like,
it's the opposite of normal, right?
You got to keep it like that. You got to have your work week, and now it feels okay if you do nothing at a weekend.
Yeah. So
you
over the weekends, I just make a list. I just make a list of all things to do. Like on Monday, I'm going to package this up, or on Monday, I'm going to do that job I've been putting off for 5 months, like clean the oven door. Which I did last week.
I heard that you text my mum asking for advice on that.
I did, yeah. She nailed it as well.
Little birdie told me.
Yeah, no, I do every now and then. I text her just like, she's good at domestic stuff. So I'm like, I think the last text before that was, talk to me about Hoovers.
So Danny, talk to us about your album then.
My second album, Author of My Own Misfortunes, was out 3rd of April. It's banging, just full of bangers, really.
It is full of bangers. I just had my daily exercise walking around the Salford Keys, and I listened to the whole thing back to back again, because it's been a few weeks since I've done that. And
it's funny how I asked Danny to talk about his album, not Nick. But anyway, carry on.
I knew this would happen. I was about to give him a compliment and tell him about my favourite track and ask him.
What's your favourite track?
Pariah.
Yeah, mine too.
It's a banger. Which is your favourite track, Danny? There you go. It's a question.
It's weird because my favourite song is Princes and Paupers, but my favourite track is Pariah. It's just the way it's recorded. I really like. It was really interesting.
Well, we will add both of those songs onto our Spotify playlist.
Thank you very much.
Which I'm sure will get listened. It will pick up your stream count.
Yeah, I need it.
I really exponentially.
Need it. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, this podcast alone, it's going to add to the fame because I am famous, but I mean, like...
Yeah.
I'm only joking. By the way, if you're listening to this and you don't know who I am, where have you been? No, but... no, I mean, every time I say I'm famous, it's sort of irony.
Yeah.
Someone did leak your album, though.
Yeah, that was mad. I was Twitter searching my own name because I've got a massive ego. And it came up, like, this is funny, this has just happened today. And it came up like one of those illegal downloading websites, right? So I retweeted it saying, oh my God, someone's leaked my album. I'm famous, right? And the person who leaked it follows me on Twitter now.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Best buddies.
Were you disappointed, obviously, with this whole lockdown thing happened? Do you think that's made it harder or easier for you to do an album launch? Obviously, your tour got cancelled.
Yeah,
but
postponed.
In terms of... Postponed. Sorry.
Do you know, it's a weird one. Everyone's at home, so it means every musician's at home. And your biggest market as an independent musician is the internet, especially for the likes of me and yourself, Dave. I'm currently battling with every other musician who's at home who's usually touring. My live stream was clashing with Biffy Clyro earlier. So it's like, do you know what I mean? It's like, that wouldn't happen. Like, I never clashed with Biffy Clyro. Like, it's weird, man. I don't mind. I'm taking it as it comes, and if anything happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I've still made a good album that I'm proud of. So
yeah, it's a great album.
Yeah, you should be proud. It's really good.
Do you know what Naomi said earlier? Right, I know she'll hate me talking about this. She's like, I don't know how much more of Dave I can take with him his top off. Because you put that video. No, you put that video of how to clean your glasses, how to look after your spirits.
But she doesn't have to watch it on repeat, though. That's where she's going wrong. She can put the phone down.
I'm showing her.
No, it's like a Clockwork Orange thing. You're like peeling her eyelids back. Watch this.
Yeah, we were talking about the isolation thing. I was like, oh, I'm not too bad because I get to see you every day, so I have human interaction. But it's more like Dave and Nick I feel sorry for. Like, she was like, I think Dave's gone mad. Like, yeah, he has.
What whiskey are we drinking, lads? What you got going at the moment, Danny?
I've got a Balvenie triple cask 12 year.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Triple cask.
I think Naomi got it me. Did one of you get me this?
I didn't get you that. That's far too classy for me.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Balvenie?
Yeah.
Or Balvenie?
I don't know.
It's a Scotch whiskey, so...
It was founded by...
Balvenie!
It was founded by Jim Balvenie.
Balvenie.
Oh, popular name up there, isn't it, Jim?
Oh, Jimmy B.
Can you give me tips on how to taste whiskey?
How to taste it?
I've been to whiskey distilleries, but I forget, like, obviously, because they go, here's loads of whiskey, this is how you taste it, and then you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, I had loads of whiskey, I can't remember what happened last night. Like, I'm sure, like, there's something to do with when you swirl the glass, like, the residue it leaves around it, that's something to do with it, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah. It kind of moves the alcohol around, so you don't get such of a kick. And, because it kind of sit on the top. What glass you got there? It's kind of... What glass
the glass is important.
Yeah, this is a tulip.
I've got a Glenlivet one. Do you remember the one that you got me?
Yeah. It is still a tulip-shaped glass. So
I love it. I love drinking out of this.
Because of that shape, it's funneling all the aromas up into one place. And actually, where it's widest, the alcohol kind of just sits there. And the actual aromas just kind of sit up and kind of move up. So yeah, you got to stick your nose in it.
I've done a little Google on this, Dan.
Okay.
Go on.
So tasting isn't the same as drinking is the first point. I think that's fair. It recommends using a Glencairn glass. This is on winemag.com. Observe the colour. Hold the glass up to the light or over a piece of white paper. Whiskey can range from pale straw to vibrant amber or deep nut-like brown. Usually the darker the colour, the more concentrated the flavour.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Give it a smell is the next point. Gently. I don't know why.
Gently. Exactly.
Give it
because
a
if
smell
you just inhale
gently.
it, you're just going to get all the alcohol and it's just going to burn your nose off. That's why, you see.
Yeah, that's exactly what it says. Yeah, you don't want to anaesthetise your I can't even say that.
Actually,
your nerves. Yeah, smell it gently with your mouth slightly open and savour the caramel, fruit or smoke.
Yeah, having your mouth open means the vapours move through instead of just building up in your nose. That's what that's for.
And then it's sip and savour.
So you're only supposed to take like a little sip, aren't you?
Yeah, and kind of let it move around the mouth as well, because a lot of it will get onto the roof of your mouth after a few seconds, and it will just linger. That's when a lot of other flavours come out. Yeah?
It's amazing, actually. I've never done that before. When you hold it on your tongue, you do get a lot more flavour, don't you?
You do. Because your mouth kind of starts salivating and like other pores and stuff in your tongue.
Reminds me of my first time.
Naomi got me a 3 Jameson set with it's called Bold, Lively and Round.
Yeah.
So 3 words to describe me. Yeah. So it's bold, lively and round.
Bald or bold?
And, it's supposed to be bold, but I think she put an A in there for crack.
Bold, lively, and always around Mr. Danny Gruff. Still working on my voiceover voice.
Yes, yes. The second part of that interview is coming up and was so much fun to edit, the second half. So I can't wait to... if you enjoyed that first half, the best is yet to come. So, Danny's album is really great. And I should just clarify that Danny's girlfriend, he did mention her, Naomi, is a nurse. She's very much on the front line at the moment. So when Danny opens up by saying he's having a good time in lockdown, his tongue is a little bit in his cheek there because they very much are living on the front line. And Naomi's doing great work, as, of course, all of the nurses and carers are and doctors. And we love them. We love them all. We love them all. But I was surprised he wanted to talk about whiskey so much.
He's a fan.
You know, he's got his album out, and all he wanted to do was talk about whiskey.
Well, he was
Fair play to
coming
him.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity.
Do you know who knows about whiskey?
The Whisky God?
Damn straight, David.
Talking to Whisky God, Nick, I had a message from Lauren Heyman, who is one of our patrons.
Lauren. Thank you.
And she was a little bit critical of the Whisky God on that last episode. Not going to lie.
We don't want to anger him. I've heard he's got a bit of a temper on him.
She said that the Whisky God sounded like a bad erotica reading.
Wow. Does she listen to a lot of that? Is she a good judge of good and bad erotica readings?
We will have to find out. Now, I did ask whether she meant, is that a good or a bad thing or not? And she went, no, it's not a good thing. So maybe he'll be a bit better this week.
Well, I think he's coming.
So hopefully he won't be too mad.
So,
mate, it's a beautiful day out there. I can't see how he's going to ruin it.
What are you talking about? It's covered. Oh my word.
Oh no. Oh my God, he's ruined my birthday. It was a sunny... Look,
He's flooded everything. He's flooded it.
Salutations, gentlemen.
Oh, God.
Hello, Mr. God. Can you just crack on, please? And
crack on.
Let us know your delicious tasting notes about the Highland Park 12-year Viking Honour.
Highland Park, 12-year-old Viking Honour. On the eyes, a bright but deep amber. Typical of a Highland malt of this age. Hiding behind it, a much deeper story. Produced on Orkney Island, however, we can officially call this an island single malt. On the nose, what an aromatic single malt. You will find the same sugary, floral notes of your typical Highland Scotch, whilst enjoying a thick honey aroma, swimming amongst tinges of citrus and sweetness.
Citrus and sweet?
Yeah.
That sounds like a 90s pop duo girl band.
And when said so erotically, were they tattooed?
Tattoo?
God, what does it taste like?
On the palate, this whiskey is full and deep. That citrusy smells now enters the realm of smoky blood orange. Floral notes from the nose now translate to the tongue, as if a cool herbal tea has snuck into the mix somehow. The sweetness that you smelled, however, is somehow subdued in complexity. Perhaps this is what they meant in honor of the Vikings, who hid their tenderness behind those blood-curdling war cries. On the finish, pepper and slight spice. The end of this Viking story ends in the slight afterthoughts of woodiness and maybe a slight peat. Overall, Scotch lovers who tend to live in the spectrum of enjoying Highland malts, go ahead and stick to your dailies. But when you want a welcome diversion, give Highland Park Viking Honour 12 a try. Join the men of the north of yore. Enjoy embracing the sweetness of a typical Highland whilst making room for a battle cry of unique pepper, spice, and citrus, not usually found in a normal Scotch of this region.
He sounds a bit like a Viking.
Certainly does.
Hey, Lauren, was that erotic enough for you?
I will be sure to ask her, God. Hopefully we'll find out next week for you. Nick, what the hell is a smoky blood orange?
Amateurs. Maybe you'll learn something by next week. I'm out of here.
I don't know why smoky blood orange is. Tell you what, you don't want to upset that guy. I've told you before. You don't want to push him too hard. I love a blood orange, I'm not going to lie. They are fantastically juicy. You not had one?
No, what are they like? Are they like watermelon or something like that?
It's like a really red orange. Hence the name. Red orange.
Red orange. Anyway, thanks for that, God. We hope to hear from you again next week if we haven't pissed you off too much.
The whiskey!
So, Nick, we had some more feedback. We heard from @SpiceBaggins.
Spice Baggins?
Yeah.
Is she
On Twitter?
related to Bilbo at all?
I hope so.
She's not the one who tried to like steal all his silverware, is she?
What, the Sackville Bagginses?
Yeah.
Ophelia? No, I don't. Hopefully not.
Oh.
Anyway, she left a very nice comment on Twitter.
Fantastic.
She said that my description of Tullamore Dew was very relatable. Who knew that I could be relatable?
She listening to the same show?
Apparently so. She said it's a lovely, cosy podcast, which I thought was really sweet.
Cozy?
But also, I am pretty certain that she's from Cork in Ireland.
Oh, right.
And I do believe that there is a story coming up. The legendary Cork story is about to be discussed between you and Danny Gruff.
The Danny Gruff, Nick Kent Cork story.
Where all the magic first happened.
What year was that?
2014. It was when we were doing Whisky and Things with an E.
It was, wasn't it? Wow.
Just realised that when you say it was when we were doing Whisky and Things with an E, it sounds like we were doing them on drugs. Remember when we did that YouTube series and we were just high all the time? No? Anyway, let's hear more from Danny.
High on life.
Things.
So, Danny, let's tell us more about your tour that's been postponed. And now it's been postponed. Does that mean that we may have Nick Kent back on bass?
No.
No, that's a firm.
No, well, we discussed this because the tour is now in October. London is the 3rd of October, Camden Assembly.
Saturday night.
Saturday night in London, man. How have I wangled that one?
I've no idea.
Disco Loadout, and that's what I've got written
I was
over it.
thinking about that.
Yeah. 4th of October, Manchester night and day. Lovely little Sunday night. And then Birmingham, Victoria, 6th of October. And then I'm doing Focus Wales in Wrexham, supporting Lucy Spraggan on the 7th of October.
Nice.
So it ties in quite nice. But yeah, so I've asked the two guys to play instruments, but I said to Nick, I was like, if they do it, like I've got to obviously ask them first, like because they were going to do it in April. So we might get Nick on rhythm guitar.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So he's got a Gibson SG, so I'm very happy to try and utilise that.
You know what song I was listening to earlier as well, after I listened to your album?
Go on.
Ode to Seamus.
Oh man, yeah. Man, that was sick, man.
Yes.
Was that the legendary night in Cork?
Legendary night in Cork,
Yes.
yeah. By the way, Nick, you're a fool. You're a massive
go
fool,
ahead.
by the way. When you were speaking to Ruse in the interview, you
Yeah.
said that Cork was near the ferry or something like that, and I was like, oh, you're definitely wrong there.
Well, no, I knew. Well, we didn't get into it because obviously it wasn't near the ferry because we missed the ferry.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. In the Ruse interview, I mentioned we went to the Jameson's distillery up the road from Cork. And the reason we went there is because we went out the night before and met this guy called Seamus.
We did other things. We didn't just meet him. We didn't just go out and meet him and go, how are you? You all right? Like, yeah, we were just sat in the bar, just minding our own business, having a few drinks. And then he came over and he was like, oh, why aren't you dancing? I was like, what do you mean, why are you dancing?
Look, can I correct you on that? Why were we looking at him? Why were we looking at him in the first place?
Oh, yeah, because he looked like Dave's dad.
Looks like Dave's dad. Yeah. You look like your dad, Dave. And we were looking at him thinking...
No, we weren't just looking
That
at him,
looks like
Nick.
Dave's
We were
dad.
taking pictures of him.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
Because we were sending to Dave going,
And then he came over and said, why are you taking
can't take
pictures
pictures
of
of
me?
me. I'm infamous.
And what did I
He's
say?
like,
That was it. And I said, no, I'm taking pictures of the vibe.
yeah, take pictures of the ambience of the room.
Yeah.
You just happen to be the ambience that looks like Dave's dad.
Oh my God.
That was such a good night. Like,
Didn't you know that, Dave?
I do. I'd forgotten about it.
Yeah.
Similar to Danny, I'd completely forgotten that was how that story went.
That was a making of me and you,
Fantastic.
Nick. That was a making of us.
It was.
The thing is, I'm an overthinker about travelling, and I'm always one step ahead of the game. But in Ireland, they don't have postcodes, do they?
No,
So
I
we
don't.
were just like, oh, we're going to Rosslare. And then for some reason, I think we asked someone the night before about 3 a.m. in the morning after just the skinful. And they were like, it's only down the road. But in Ireland, it is only down the road because their nearest neighbour's 2 miles away. That was the infamous. There's more to it, but that's another story altogether. Oh, to Seamus, so I love that tune. I love
It's
it.
a great tune.
to
Listeners,
Seamus.
go listen to that song because it's fantastic.
I'll put it on the.
Yeah, whack that on the playlist, Dave.
Have you, in this period of lockdown, done any impulse buy-in?
I mean, it's hard to say impulse. I tell you what, that's weird. You said this, by the way, but so I'm sort of I'm doing jobs in the house that I've been putting off for ages. So the other day, cleaning the oven door, I bought some Sif from the co-op in weekly shop. But then I've been doing the grouting in my shower. So I bought a grout, but the mold is too bad. So I bought a grout pen, and then today I bought 3 A2 frames with some adhesives to stick them on the wall. So I've got something to do. However, I got sent this today in the post, and I didn't order it. Right? Have you seen this?
What the hell is that?
Paddling pool.
It's an inflatable dinghy.
All right.
I'm not planning on going to the sea anytime soon. Someone has sent me this. Like, can you see it? Like,
Why?
No,
Why?
Did
it come with a
It
note?
hasn't got a tight. No, because it was just sent from the company. So, like, I think I know who it is. But why the hell would they send me an inflatable dinghy when I'm in lockdown? Are they trying to make me cry? Like, no,
It's taunting you, isn't it?
this is a genuine true story. Like, this is like, you can see it if you're watching the video. That's it. Like,
Is it pink? Is it pink as well?
it's a blue inflatable
blue.
dinghy.
Mate, I want to see a picture of you on Instagram of you sitting in that in your living room.
Sitting in there.
Tomorrow,
Yeah.
that's it. That's on my list of things to do tomorrow. So I'm going to sit in my inflatable dinghy and play Red Dead Redemption 2. That's it. Like, Naomi's in work.
That's the picture. Oh,
Man,
God.
It's so, like, yeah, so that... I don't remember buying that.
But why? Why would you have bought
What
it?
site
don't
were you
know.
on?
Like,
what are you looking for to find that?
I don't know. Maybe I was like, grout pen, inflatable dinghy. I don't know. Like,
Did it come in the same delivery?
no. So this is the packet. Honestly, there's no letter in here. Like, So it's just inflatable dinghy.
Hashtag who got Danny the dinghy?
Wow. If you got Danny the dinghy, get in touch with us in secret. And
So it's weird that you asked me that question because I don't, it's too funny to be one of you two. And if it's someone who's bought it me for like a congratulations on a new album, that's a weird present, like, isn't it?
In fairness, you did put a Facebook status up where you listed all the things
Buy
that
me a
people
boat.
could.
I did.
One of them was buy me a boat. So maybe
That's fantastic.
I mean, that's
it.
Oh my God! But that's come too quick.
Well, I sent it out on my mailing list the other day, didn't I? It's like,
well, there it is.
It would have been Friday.
There it is.
Hey, it's quick delivery though, that, isn't it? That's dead funny.
Danny, since you've moved to Manchester, you've started producing other artists.
Yes, I work in a studio in Chorlton called Airtight Studios. I'm actually in lockdown. I'm going to start working on my production website, my portfolio, because I've got like a few things that I'm proud of now.
Yeah,
like stuff that I've actually like. So if it's been a rapper come in, it's been rap tracks that I've done the beat for or helped with the beat. Because a lot of the time we get people in like rappers who just go, oh, this song's on YouTube, just download this, and then they rap over the top of it, which is fine. But there's been some tracks when I've done the beat and I'm like, oh, that's really cool that I've done all of that track. It's a different level for me.
Yeah,
so.
Complete new skill set as well.
Yeah, it's you learn different things. It's always a learning curve. That's the beauty of doing that job is you're always going to learn stuff every time someone comes in. There's going to be someone who presents a new artist to you, a new style or a new technique, and you're going to learn from that, and you're going to maybe use it in a different session and stuff. I feel like with the cover, like me and Dave do a lot of covers gigs, and me and Nick are doing a few. I feel like I've done all I can with that now. Like I've sort of completed it, and I can go to a gig and know that I'm going to do a good job. And if they think I'm not doing a good job, well, I know another pub does, and many other pubs, clubs, bars think I'm doing a good job. So it doesn't really excite me anymore. It's fun when you have a good gig, but the studio stuff is like it's exciting every time I go to do it because I'm on the edge of my seat, like thinking, am I going to mess this up? Am I going to do a good job? And more often than not, I do a good job. Sometimes you have a bad day, but the same with any job.
Well, yeah, I've been doing more production stuff as well recently, and it feels like the more you get into it, the more you realise you don't know.
The more money you spend.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Hoover porn again?
Hoover porn.
So of course you can hear the full interview, which was quite long.
Yeah, we talked
over
about
on our
an hour.
Patreon page.
Yeah, it's about an hour long,
it was a
wasn't
long old chat. Yeah, it was good fun. It was a lot of fun.
Dave,
I laughed a lot.
Yeah, it did, Dave. I don't know about you, mate, but I was a bit insulted when he said that the dinghy situation was too funny to be one of us.
Oh, well, yeah, exactly. Although there is an update to this. We have since found out who got him the dinghy.
Oh.
It was Sally Walker. Sally Walker got him the dinghy. And it was because of his
boat thing.
Mailing list. Yeah. So he asked for a boat, got a boat,
Sally
could remember
Walker.
that. I mean, that's a great... the fact that she did it so quickly is incredible.
Yeah.
So Danny, today, post this interview, Danny has sent me a message, a screenshot of his home screen, of his home screen on his phone.
Yeah.
With a message from my mum that said, "Don't rub too hard." What is he doing? What is he doing with my mum?
Oh dear.
It's just crossing lines. He's crossing lines. Don't think we should get him on again.
No, that's it. He's gone too far.
Anyway, go and check out Danny's album. It is really good. You can find him at Danny Gruff on pretty much everything because no one else is called Danny Gruff. It's not his real name. But anyway.
What a stupid name. He came up with that. That's not his real name.
I know.
He came up with that. Yeah, well, Danny Gruff.
That's a really good point.
You know?
That's a really good point. He chose...
I've been telling him to change his name for years. Daniel Beck is what I've been telling him. You know, to become a crooner and do like a...
Called Daniel Beck.
Isn't that a cool name? Anyway, but he's called Danny Gruff, so go check out his socials.
Yeah, it's Danny Gruff, at Danny Gruff.
And his dinghy.
Go and check him out.
So fresh.
You know how last week I said that the show's going international because Corey has been listening in Australia?
Yes, hello Corey.
Well, I've been looking into this. I've been looking into our figures. Apparently we can get quite detailed figures about where people are listening to, which is great. apparently 1% of our listeners are in Poland, which may be the Dean Lemon effect. But if you are listening in Poland, hello.
Hello.
We hope to see you sometime.
I was about to say the only Polish word I know, and I won't. Carry on, Dave.
Okay. We've also got a fair amount of people listening in America, which makes sense because obviously Lauren, my friend and our Patreon supporter, Lauren, is from Indiana.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, Lauren, we look forward to hearing from you about whether the Whisky God was less erotic this week. Please do let us know about that. But also, Nick, there was one thing that surprised me on our list of countries, and that is that 11% of our listeners are from Iceland. I'm supposed to be going to Iceland later in the year. Obviously, Rona permitting.
Rona permitting.
Yes. So I'm going to have to look to see if there's any whiskey distilleries.
What do they drink up there? I think they just drink beer, mate.
No, they've got this snap stuff. It's kind of like a vodka whiskey thing, potato starchy. I don't know. It's nice.
Oh, you've got to say it's nice.
No, it's not.
I'm sure it's lovely. I've never tried it. I just seen Secret Life of Walter Mitty, where he gets given the beer shoe. Yeah?
Oh, my God.
But was that Iceland
or
was that Greenland? I'm not sure. I can't remember.
That was Iceland. That was definitely Iceland. Yeah, so beer shoe.
Great soundtrack.
What's your beer shoe? Anyway.
Shall we talk about next week?
What's going on next week? I'm done.
Oh, you're done. Fantastic. We're going to be tasting the Jameson Cask Make Stout Edition, which is a favourite. We tried it. Well, I tried it a few weeks ago when I interviewed Ruse. We put it in some Irish coffees, and it was our favourite. So now we're going to try it in its raw form.
Our first Jamesons on the show. Jameson.
We are a fan of Jamesons, aren't we?
Talking of Jamesons, we've drunk a lot of Jamesons with Danny Gruff. But interestingly, it's not his favourite whiskey. His favourite whiskey happens to be Highland Park.
Yeah.
Which we are drinking this week. By coincidence. Actually, by coincidence.
Yeah. So we've actually got a little snippet, little extra nugget from his interview, which we're going to play for you now, where he talks about his favourite whiskey, Highland Park. Enjoy.
So my favourite whiskey, if you're wondering, fellas, is Highland Park. I think it's because it was my first whiskey that wasn't like Jameson's. Like when you get into whiskey, like Jameson's is like your what do they say? Cannabis. It's like a gateway drug. and then your Highland Park's a bit like your acid. It's not quite cracked just yet, but it's up there. Like, so like, it was my first whiskey that was. It's like buying your first proper guitar when you get like a Taylor and Martin, a Gibson, a Fender, whatever. And so every time I'm like, oh, it just takes me back. I think I had it in uni, like 10 years ago now.
So there you go. He's put what?
Acid.
What's going on? What is going on?
Highland Park is like acid. Leave the tasting notes to me, Daniel.
Dave.
Hey,
How dare you?
You were right not to anger him.
I think we've angered the Whisky God.
We need to wrap this up.
Oh my word.
We need to wrap this up.
We've got to
go. We'll see you next week.
No.
If you tried the Jameson Cask Make, let us know.
Save the whiskey. Save it.
How dare you?
Oh, the Lagavulin.
What kind of operation are you even running here?